Turning to the State House, in less than 2 weeks, the State Senate will be reviewing a possible amendment to our state constitution. You see, California's constitution still allows forced labor, also called involuntary servitude, as a punishment for a crime. Assembly Constitutional Amendment 8 would ban involuntary servitude altogether. You might think this is a thing of the past, but it's actually still present in California. In our system, about 100,000 people are incarcerated, and according to the ACLU, about 2/3 of them are forced to work in prison, generating at least $1 billion in saved labor expenses. Joining us now to discuss this constitutional amendment is Dorsey Nunn. He's the Executive Director of Legal Services for Prisoners with Children, the author of What Kind of Bird Can't Fly, and a 2023 recipient of the James Irvine Foundation Leadership Award. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for allowing me to get an opportunity to actually talk to you about this important subject.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Nunn, you yourself spent about 11 years in prison, including some time at San Quentin. You're in Alcatraz right now, so doing some really important work with the community there. Tell us a little bit about your experience with involuntary servitude.
Probably from the age of 19 on, when I was in prison, most of the time that I served and I had to work. And the labor was being extracted without consent, and it was being extracted through coercion, whether it's going to be loss of visits, loss of access to ultimately parole, and loss to access to canteen and some other stuff. But the most I ever made over the course of probably 11 years in prison was $32 a month.
Wow.
And I think that to the most part, the question of slavery gave work a bad name, And if I hadn't had a family that was really dependent upon me working after I got out, I probably would have never wanted another job, because if they didn't force you to work for long periods of time, it doesn't seem like it's a productive thing to engage in.
Now, slavery is illegal, but in California, involuntary servitude is legal as a way to punish someone for a crime. And I wonder, from your perspective, what kind of work were they asking you to engage in, and how did that feel?
I was at a certain point, I was handling, making detergents to actually clean the clean tunnels that you drive through on the highway. At certain periods of time, I was engaged in manufacturing furniture for offices that was under the control of the state of California. At no point, especially when I was handling chemicals, was I provided with the protections to actually ensure that I was safe. And in fact, at one point, I was sweeping the floor, and I swept some mixture in the compound that I was sweeping up, and it started smoking and started burning. So I knew that I was handling dangerous chemicals. Then at a certain, during that particular period of time, I was loading, 1,000 pounds of soap a day on pallets. And it was that kind of thing. And at no point was the labor that they was extracting was going to serve my interests and serve my ability to get a job after I was released. In fact, in some instances, I've seen other people who had been forced into labor that couldn't, that didn't have the ability to do the things that would improve the possibility of them staying out of prison, improve the possibility of them actually experience the same degree of rehabilitation that I had. I went from 6th grade through 2 years of college, but other people that had more needed skills, they would force those people to work regardless if it wasn't to their benefit.
Mr. Dorsey Nunn, Executive Director of Legal Services for Prisoners with Children, thank you so much for your time. This is a developing story. We're going to keep following ACA 8. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thanks for giving me this opportunity. And hopefully somebody can hear me.
Thank you for your time.